Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go.
I've had poker on all morning for whatever reason. I really enjoy watching poker. And they had this whole huge conversation about how there was a lot of contention once poker was added in as like an ESPN sport, right? So now there's like poker, chess, and esports. I feel like those are the three where people are like, does this count? And I'm kind of okay with being right along the same line as chess and poker. Takes a lot of brains. So for our first piece of news, if you've been playing World of Warcraft for 10 consecutive years, you might have been contacted about getting a super cool statue in the mail. It's like this gold orc statue. There's a bigger version of it that a lot of people have seen, but the smaller version is pretty dope, and it says on the bottom of it like why you got it and all this stuff. But there's been a lot of confusion about it because people were wondering, if I've mostly been there for 10 years, do I still get the statue, or do I have to have had 10 consecutive years with like no lapses in my account? So apparently, unfortunately, you do have to have had like no lapses, playing constantly, like been involved, which really sucks because I know so many people who have they've been playing it for 10 years, but there have been a few times where they've let it run out and then been like, oops, and gotten back into it. So I don't know if there's a way that you can contact them and say, hey, I've basically been there for 10 years, but I assume that they wouldn't want to just, this is like a very special thing, a very special statue that they're just giving to people. So, I don't know. Maybe Blizzard's super cool and they wouldn't care, but there's a possibility that, they'd be like, well, this is for this specific thing in this specific instance, so if you didn't meet all of our criteria, you don't get one. But it does look super cool, I'm not gonna lie to you. An 18-year-old kid in the UK was arrested on suspicion of being involved in a DDoS attack against both PlayStation and Microsoft. So he was not only arrested by the UK Crimes Division, but he was also arrested by the FBI. And they think this guy is responsible for all sorts of stuff, like not only these DDoS attacks, but also like numerous swattings. This sort of a thing makes me wonder just how long we're going to have to progress in the technological world before we can keep just like kids in their basements from being able to do this sort of stuff. Like, it blows my mind. And they are thinking that he's done it all by himself, which also blows my mind. I'm like, are you sure that he wasn't part of like a bigger thing? Like he wasn't, interacting with more people who were helping out with it, that there wasn't a web, a web on the web. But no, they believe that he just by himself was like DDoSing huge companies, swatting tons of people and not getting caught. Like, on a certain level you have to be like, if that's true, he's kind of a genius. Not saying that it's cool, not saying that any of that is okay, but like, he's got some brains going. Anyway, there were all sorts of attacks against both Microsoft and PlayStation, and so they believe that this kid is what did that during mostly the Christmas season, I believe. So yeah, if you were trying to log in and play a game during the Christmas season and you couldn't, and then you wept openly, it was probably this guy. For the most part, when people talk about Twitch.tv online, they talk about it in a very fond sort of way. Good guy Twitch, just like helping us all out, doing cool stuff. And then all the music stuff happened. You guys remember the music stuff? When they made it so that if you had songs on your broadcast, the audio recognition software would pick out, then 30 minutes of your cast would just be silent. Now, obviously, lots of people said, this really sucks because I love playing music while I play insert game here. Most likely insert MOBA here. But like, people really like to play music and express themselves that way while they're doing a myriad of things on Twitch. And so they decided to put together a program where they have music available to you through all of these different record labels that has been approved for archiving in broadcasts on Twitch. Along with that, you guys might have noticed that sometimes I like to stream and I do like crafty sort of stuff and everybody freaks out in my chat thinking that I'm totally gonna get shut down because how dare I do anything but play a game. But they've been putting together different categories that you can put down. So like when you go to type in a game, there are also categories within those game lists. So like crafty sort of things are now called creative. So you can say, I'm currently playing creative. And that tells Twitch, I'm not necessarily playing a game, but I'm doing something creative that is most likely within the gaming space, right? This also applies to speed paintings, to cosplay streams, things like that. And so now, along with this whole music platform, they've also put together a category that is for music, that is called music. And that way, if you have a song that you want to perform, if you are putting together a song and you want to stream like your process, all of that is now totally okay under the Twitch umbrella and you won't get shut down for it. They've been pretty open about the fact that they'd like to expand more and more and more because, you know, before they had Justin and then Twitch, and Twitch was like gaming only and Justin was everything else, and then they shut down Justin. And so now I think they've been trying to, piece by piece, just little by little, bring in more and more sorts of people, more and more sorts of streams onto the Twitch platform. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why they feel like they can't just, you know, open the floodgates, and maybe it has to do with moderation, just making sure that everybody knows what the terms of service are and knows what's okay, what's not okay, like maybe don't stream porn, I don't know. I personally have not checked out the music that's available on Twitch yet, but it sounds like they've tried to reach out to a lot of different record labels to make sure that the music is not just like, this is like okay, I guess. So, I don't know. Check it out. If you're one of those people who's like, I don't know what to play anymore, then, I mean, you could go to OC Remix, but you could also look at the Twitch music list and see if anything's on there that you like. So I don't think we've talked about this on this show very much, or maybe at all, but they made a new 3DS XL, right? And because Nintendo's amazing and so good at names, they decided to call it the new Nintendo 3DS, because that makes sense. And basically, it just like, it offers more processing power, more space, things like that. So we've been wondering when the new 3DS XL is supposed to be coming out in North America, and nobody really knew, but as a rumor, there is a poster from GameStop, supposedly, as a rumor, there is a poster from GameStop that says that it would be released next month on the 13th. Now again, we don't know this for sure, it's a rumor, but it looks like a very official poster. It has all the signage on it, it has everything, and somebody, you know, put it out there into the universe saying, I work at GameStop and I saw this. How do these people not get in trouble? How do they never get caught? So if you've been interested in getting the new Nintendo 3DS XL, then it will probably be available next month. Here's the thing that I don't understand, right? Is we've got all of these super cool 3DSs that are gonna be coming out, like the Majora's Mask one, beautiful, the Monster Hunter one, kind of okay. Let's be honest, that Japanese Monster Hunter one looked way cooler than the American one that's for pre-sale right now. But anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'm curious about is why those aren't coming out as new Nintendo 3DS XLs and why they're just like regular ones. Because they're definitely available for pre-order. It's not like they're open and out there now, so why not have them be the new ones? Like, I don't get it. I just feel like a decent number of the people who wind up buying these for whatever reason, and I've never bought one of the new cooler ones, but I've daydreamed about it. I've been like, oh man, those look super cool. Maybe I should get, no, I already have one. I don't need another one. There's no point. There's no reason for me to get it, right? But I know a lot of people who have a 3DS or have a 3DS XL, and they buy a new one just to get that super cool looking one, right? And so I just think that it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks that they're putting themselves out there, they're pre-ordering this super cool 3DS, and in the end, they're not even going to have like the best version of the 3DS. Does that make sense? Some of you might have heard of a phenomenon called Totaka's song. It is a song that shows up in lots of different Nintendo games because the composer for Nintendo actually puts this song in there as an Easter egg. Kazumi Totaka has been putting this song specifically in Mario games for like 25 years now. And so every time a new Mario themed game comes out, people just frantically try and find this song. And there have been a few times where it hasn't even been confirmed that this song exists, right? They're like, no, I'm pretty sure that I heard it in this one area, this one time, but I've never heard it again there, so maybe it happens one every like 3,000 times that you're in that zone, and it's like, no, there's no way to prove this. it's too intense. Like, it's not gonna happen, right? So everybody was really excited when a YouTube channel called Somewhat Awesome Games actually found it in Mario Kart 8, and it's like the weirdest thing. So you go to the Yoshi area, and there are a bunch of Yoshis that are like behind a fence as though they're cattle, which super weirds me out. And if you, right after you've left the gate, if you go off to the side and just sit along that fence, you can just barely hear the little Yoshis singing the song. And this has been confirmed by multiple people since this video came out, because a lot of people were like, BS, you can barely hear it. But a lot of people have gone to listen to it and like, it's there, it's definitely there. It's just so cool. I love little things like that because I think it's kind of, it's a way for somebody to have as much fun as possible with a game, right? To just have this like, this secret little thing that's so fun, and they're doing it for the super, super fans, right? Like, the only people who are going to find Totaka's song are people who care a lot and know the lore and have heard it before, and you do that sort of a thing for them, you know? So even though you might have a lot of people just being like, whatever, I played Mario Kart 8 like a few times, it was like, okay. You're gonna have those people who go, oh my god, I found Totaka's song, like I heard it. And he's just like, yeah. And, fun fact, Totaka is also the voice of Yoshi. So it's Totaka singing Totaka's song. What? If you want a refund on the game H1Z1, then the last day that you can get it is on Monday. And why would you want a refund, you ask? Oh, good lord. So reading the H1Z1 Reddit lately has just been like, I wasn't even following it. I didn't even really know what was going on. And then Sam was like, you are not going to believe the stuff that is happening in H1Z1 right now. It is out of control. And so I did so much reading. I read so many articles, and it's gotten so out of hand to the point where I would say the biggest issue here is like a communication problem. So basically, H1Z1 is an early access survival zombie game, right? Lots of people have played it. They really love it. They think it's awesome. It's like a better form of DayZ, right? It's the same sort of a genre. So a while back, one of the devs said, this isn't gonna be a pay-to-win game. You can't just buy ammo. You can't just buy guns, right? That's not gonna happen. We feel like that would really, really suck if we did that. So in the game, they have what's called a drop, which is it's an event that you can make happen with actual money. You can go into an in-game store, you can buy a drop, and then it starts like an event on the server where a plane goes overhead, it drops down supplies, and you have no idea what's in there. It could be food, it could be a gun, it could be ammo, who even knows? And it also spawns zombies. So anybody else who's on the server, and you can't even buy this unless there are 100 people on the server, right? Anybody else who's on the server who sees this drop happening can run over and totally steal it from you. So it's not like you're guaranteed to have it. Oh, my phone is blooby-dooping. So I heard this and I thought, that's super cool. Like, I think that's a great way to do it, where you don't necessarily wind up with that stuff that you totally paid money for. Like, you're taking a huge gamble to like even buy this thing, because not only is it gonna spawn a ton of zombies, somebody else could totally wind up with the gear that you paid money for, right? It's kind of, I don't know, it creates a really interesting event that happens on the server for everybody. And it also is just a major gamble for you. Like, it doesn't necessarily encourage you to do it. It's kind of like, well, I guess I'll just go for it. So then everybody was like, what the heck? You said that we wouldn't be able to buy ammo and guns. Like, you totes lied to us. But the thing is in August of last year, they've been telling us this. Like, since then, they've been saying, yeah, we're gonna do this cool thing where like people on the server are gonna fight over supplies, and you will buy, like, they told us everything. You will buy it in a store, in the game, it'll happen, you won't necessarily get the supplies, who knows what'll be in there, there might be guns, there might be, and they told us literally everything that winded up happening, right? And people lost their minds. People lost their minds. They focused so much on the one time when they said, yeah, you can't just outright buy a gun. You can't just outright buy ammo. We're not gonna make it pay to win that way. That would suck. And just totally forgot that for months now they've been telling us about these drops, and they were like, what is this? what is this? So then, of course, everybody was saying, we want our money back. This is stupid. It's an early access game, by the way. We want our money back. This is stupid. And so Sony Online Entertainment said, okay, you can have your money back. Get in touch with us. We'll give you your money back. We're sorry that in our early access game, you've had a bad experience. And then everybody was saying, it's not about the money, you capitalist whores. Like, I'm so done. I'm so done with it. Sam and I were laughing about it. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. But like, you know, again, you could make the argument of just don't buy early access games, right? But the other thing is there's been such a weird mob mentality about the whole thing where not many people know that this was ever expressed in August. Not many people know that the drops were ever a thing that was talked about. And I don't understand why the research only goes so far. Anywho, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to have coffee with me on my other channel, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you there. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. Next week, I will be at PAX South, so if you're there, come say hi. And otherwise, I will talk to you guys again next time for news. Bye-bye. Mwah. We're coming out.